The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 25th day of March, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carla Zul. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching on Channel 82 or listening on the Full 100 radio station, call someone up and let them know we're on. Just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one today, as the good folks from Whitehorse, we have Lee Richardson and Dennie O'Connor stopping by. The Daily Play is a say it, don't sing it. No, it's not.
It's Thursday, but I can do it again.
It's name that place. Sorry, name that place. No, we're not going to do singing twice. It's name that place. Getting my days mixed up. But before we get to the big conversation for today and the most Carla moment of the day, we've got a protest. Can we call it a protest?
It looks like the protesters protested the protest. Sorry.
I mean, you could be right. No, Carla. They protested their protest, but maybe it's us. As I stated, maybe we got the wrong time. Maybe they're 10:30 a.m. No. Or no. Okay. Maybe it was the wrong Wednesday night. Maybe it was last week Wednesday or next week. I don't know. Maybe it was last week Wednesday before the curfew, so that
why is this man trying to get me hate mail?
No, I'm just trying to make sense of.
Send hate mail to engage@thedailyhour.com.
Well, I mean, I look. I'm not making look, folks. I'm with what's the social justice Bermuda said it best. Look, we support anyone's right to protest. We just ain't down with this one. That's pretty much it. But let's discuss last night, because it's worth a conversation. It's worth a conversation in so many ways. The singer guy, Colin Buds, he's getting ripped on Twitter because, well, in his defense, folks, he didn't say what he was going to be there for. He said all his tweet said is, I'll be there tonight. It didn't say exactly what he'll be there for. So you all ripping him, and Mr. Colin Buds guy, he probably was talking about he'll be somewhere at dinner with his family.
Why are you calling him Colin Buds?
Well, what's his name?
Collie Buds.
I'm not calling
Colin Frith.
What's his real name? What's his
Colin
name?
Frith, I believe. Is it Frith? I can't remember.
Isn't
but
it
yeah.
Company Harper or something?
Oh, Colin Harper. Yes.
No.
Sorry. But Colin Buds just.
Well, I mean, Collie makes me. I know the intent is because of the plant, but it just makes me think of a border collie, like the dog, and I thought that would be rude.
But see, listen. So I saw his tweet, and I saw everyone making a mock. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people were, reacting. Mm-hmm. But here you go, someone who has a lot less to lose than others, encouraging others to be there, and then not show up. So that was one thing, like just the hypocrisy of it all. How many people speak up and go back home to their luxurious lives or better lives than others, and then the ones that are lower down on the totem pole, perhaps financially, especially, will go and fight the fight. And
you make a good point, and I just want to be very careful because white people like to. But people like to sue people, right? And here's what I'm saying. I'm serious when I'm saying, like, people literally leave stuff so that they don't look crazy. We can all draw conclusions to what Colin Buds meant in his tweet, right? It's pretty obvious because he was, if you look at his series of tweets. But Mr. Colin Buds, what Carl is saying is it's pretty amazing. And we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there because that's what we do on this show. For a white guy who has privilege, right? And this is not him particular, to encourage people to do something that would lead to them breaking the law, if that's what he was talking about, and you don't even show up. No, I'm gonna go with he didn't mean to protest. I'm gotta believe that, because you cannot tell me in this day and age that come on, Carla, please tell me.
Well, you know what? There was one guy who replied. There were several likes to his tweet, but there's one guy who replied, and he said, "I'll be there too." So unless they were having like a family reunion or something, it was the protest. And
I'm gonna go with a family reunion. I think the Buds family was having a family reunion.
But he was very open, as you said. He's been very open about. Remember, he spoke up, and Premier Brett did reply to him and say, "Mr. Harper, it's a pandemic."
But that was in the summer.
No, I saw it last night. Yeah, that was old. Oh, okay. But then the boat thing. So he appears to be anti curfew and the water curfew and all of that. So I think he meant the protest. But here's the other thing. Beyond that, where was everybody else? Well, they say one person, maybe two showed up.
Well, where was everyone else? I just want to give much props to Dr. David Roots, the Dr. David Chapman, because look, whether we agree with people or not, this is the one thing we have to learn about protest. Protest is not about everyone agreeing with people, right? It's really about, if you believe in your cause, you go there, you risk, yes, you face consequences if it means arrest. If you believe in your cause and it's for the betterment of what you believe is a better community for your family and your community, then you do those things. People will laugh and act like Dr. David Chapman's crazy. I get it. When it's a one-man band, usually people do react that way. But I want to give him nothing but respect this morning, because even though we may not agree, he stood even on his own and
what he believed in.
For what he believed, and he didn't cause harm to anybody in the process. Now, some people may say, "Oh, that's not true. He didn't have a mask." Again, what is they're standing on? Principle, right? So let me just end on this note with Dr. David Chapman. I say to people all the time, if you go online, if you're doing something on social media and you only have one follower or two viewers or whatnot, keep going. Keep going. Because if Mr. Colin Buds guy was, what's that term? Influencer people use? The term influencer?
It's influencer.
If he was such an influencer, I think he just lost his next check.
Well, like my tweet said, the Buds came around, but he didn't. If you know his song, you know where I'm going. But I said to you earlier, it became crystal clear for me, because I tried to stay up, right? I'm in the UK, so we're 3 hours behind. I usually go to bed about 1:30 on a Wednesday anyway. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I'm going to stay up to watch the live. I made it to 1:09, and I was just like, nah, I'll just catch the replay. And I fully thought, because of all of the vocalization on social media, I thought it was going to be a large group of people, or at least a notable group of people, because if people are serious and we're going to stand together, we're going to stand together.
Hold on, Dr. Seaman, you see where she's going? She's taking me right back to election night when she thought that you would get a certain amount of votes. Here she is. I said to Carla yesterday, I'm like, you think people are going to be there? I had no faith. I had no hope that anyone was going to be there. And Carla was like, yeah, I think it's going to be.
People seem so angry. I thought that they would. I really did, because to me, you're all over social media, whoever the proverbial you is, you're all over social media. You're talking about you're anti this and anti that, and the government's taking away our rights. I thought that they would be there, even if it was 10 of them, that they would be there law prod strong together. I did not expect that they would all bail. And then this morning I was having a conversation on Twitter, and a young lady said, well, it was the wrong day of the week. It should have been on a Friday. And I was like, what you mean? A cause is a cause, no matter what day of the week it is. And so that made me smile,
Carla, there's nothing convenient or comfortable about protest. It's not, civil disobedience. And I think someone may have said it in the audience, Shay Renee. Nothing wrong with civil disobedience. And props to Dr. David Chapman. Again, this is not about whether we agree or not, but this is a person who literally, went there on his principles and stood alone. Now, I did see another Rasta man there. He was, I think Media Maya was trying to have a conversation with him. And then there was a singer guy that Trevor had and kind of panned away from the camera as well. But here's the moment that got me when I was watching Trevor. I was switching between Media Maya and Trevor, and Trevor says, well, there goes the premier in the premier's car. And I just want to say, if true that the premier drove through the pass or across the non-protest, that is pure, housery. Like that is the trolling top tier. That is
props to him. I would have did that too with my mask and gave him the peace sign. I would have.
I mean,
but I giggled at the press release, right? Because the press release came through, and I didn't include it because I figured we talk about it today. But the very last line said, or from the article, it said, "Oh, the protesters laughed by curfew. I flipping died." I thought that was funny. Okay. I'm enjoying this way too much.
I know you are. Yes, definitely admire you, Dr. Seaman. 28 votes in all. I mean, seriously. I mean, you got more votes than I'll ever get, and I mean that because I'm never putting my head in that ring. But I think there's challenges here, and I think here's my question to the audience. Here's the question to the audience. Real serious question. What message do you think the lack of protesters sends? And here's why that question's being asked. Because I know there was a politician from the OBA UBP that once said, oh, they'll get angry, they'll get over it. That's what they think about Bermudians, right? That you talk, we got on social media, we have these conversations, but very few would go the long run. Very few would take it to them. Very few are going to stand their ground. What message do you think this sends to people like the premier? Or I did see from the other side people saying, well, if the police aren't arresting people and it's past curfew, nobody's going to respect curfew. No, I saw people saying that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But what about the other side? What message overall last night's protest or lack thereof, what message do you believe it sends?
For me, I think that regardless of what's the stand, I think that things like this will make people not take protests serious. It's like, it becomes what's that word? Another catchword, like protest, yeah, whatever. They're not going to show up. So I think it dilutes the meaning and the power of what the word is supposed to mean.
Indeed. Elizabeth says it tells those in power that they can pretty much do whatever they want. Yeah, that's something that came from the mouth of a former OBA MP. Like, look, they'll get mad for a bit and they'll get over it. That's what they think of Bermudian, like the people. Dr. Seaman says people can't be bothered. Plus, they won't come out against our beloved PLP. Heard that before. Charlotte Fox says they said to themselves, it's not worth getting arrested. I'll pass. I mean, if you were afraid about getting arrested, then I mean, and just think of the people who were kind of promoting it and in the videos, like, it's different.
I'm looking for this tweet that I retweeted this morning, and this gentleman, he summed it up pretty well. And I'm looking for it, but he basically said, we all want to protest. You want to have a stand, but you wait on the side to see who stands first, pretty much.
Well, I had people say that to us when we were fighting conscription. I legit had people saying, yeah, man, you guys win this, I don't have to go. Like, literally just standing on the side, not supporting. There are more people like that than there are courageous people who will stand up for the cause. There are. Sean Smith says, not serious about their cause. The question is, what message do you think the lack of protesters sends? Teresa Stewart and Shay Renee Carla.
It shows that a collective, we care more about how we appear on social media. On socials versus real life. Unfortunately, the people who made videos ranting and raving were not a good representation of the cause.
Yeah. And Rick Olson says, I think there would have been a slightly better turnout if there wasn't so many positives last week. And then Dejon Simmons says, weakens the leverage. The stage was set. Everyone was watching and only one man had the grit. Mm-hmm.
See, but going back to Mr. Olson's comment about the many positives, and yes, they had 40 more announced yesterday. But if you have a stand, you have a stand. Remember, these are people who don't believe in mask wearing and curfew and all of that. So would those positives really make a difference if they're solid in the stand? That's how I see it. I don't know if I'm looking at it through a different lens.
Shamari Talbot says, remember the protest that brought out thousands started with one woman sitting on East Broadway. I think that was the one about, was it the Uyghurs? I'm not sure. Let us know.
Or does he mean Anda sitting up at Capitol? Because remember, that was another one. I'm saying Capitol.
Cabinet, the House of Assembly.
House of Assembly.
Deb Ford says, if the protest was to be taken serious, have someone speak with valid points, not someone going off, swearing, and carrying on social media. Well, I think, to be fair, Dr. David Chapman did have extremely valid points. Whether we agree with them or not, that's on each individual, but he did speak with some valid points. Dijon Simmons says, it's an interesting case study, though. I do agree, Dijon. I think it's a psyche thing. Like, the reason I'm so cynical and skeptical of, like, protest in Bermuda is because of what I went through. And I saw through my experience how people looked at fighting. Like, you know, a few weeks ago, I called out Black Bermudian athletes, right? Because when I look at who is celebrated and what we celebrate as far as Bermuda athletes, I've never seen any Black Bermudian athletes really take up a cause. Like, you know, as I mentioned, you have Katora Horton, parent chief, involved in social justice Bermuda. You had Larry and Lamont with Bermudians Against the Draft. But what have these other athletes who have Bermuda has given so much as far as, you know, taxpayers' money through football and cricket? What have they done to stand up and fight causes? They're never in front. Why? Because everyone's so worried about a reputation. They want to be liked. They don't want controversy. They don't want to be looked at as the bad guys, right? This is why, going back to the comment about someone saying, you know, it sends a message to the government that they can do whatever they want, because those who supposedly have a bit of influence or clout or popularity in Bermuda, because we know popularity means more than substance, right? Those who have that, they don't use it for anything because everyone's too worried about being liked and, based on history, losing their mortgage. But we have to get to the news, right? Let's go through a few more comments before we go to our news break, and then we bring in our guest for the day, the great folks at Whitehorse. We have Dennie O'Connor and Lee Richardson waiting by. But Lamont Wood says, I don't think there wasn't enough support for it. Maybe they need a messiah. Is David Roots the messiah? Possibly. Quentin Stavrocarlo.
Specifically with this matter, it means the government has the mood of the people gauged. Those who make all the rah 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 noise is not an accurate representation of those who stand by their convictions. Social media bullies.
Deborah Leah Joel Bell says, not only fear of being arrested, let's believe it was a non-issue based on latest surge in positives and people not taking any of this seriously. Chocolate Lovely Lines says, I think many people didn't agree with the cause. Shamari Talbot says people didn't show up because their organizer didn't have a face. People can't follow a faceless cause. But what about the Colin Budge rapper guy? Lamont Woods says, I don't think there was enough support for the mission. Shaid says, these same people will laugh at the LGBTQ community because we showed up and fought for what we believe. I don't think anyone should laugh at that, because I've always said, I think they actually do things right. Like, they know how to gauge support and get support. If anything, I think this is the new laughing stock of protest in Bermuda. That said, we must get to a news break. A very good conversation coming up with Dennie O'Connor and Lee from down at Whitehorse. If you've experienced it already, please chime in. Let us know what's up. And yeah, Carla, we're going to go over to you. I'm intrigued by your news break for some reason. It's not going to have any mention of Colin Budge, is it?
No, or a faceless cause.
Okay, cool.
Campaigners for victims of sex abuse have backed proposed legislation designed to target revenge porn. Laurie Shield, the executive director of the Center Against Abuse, said that the law would be a step in the right direction, but added that a maximum sentence for convicted offenders should be higher than the proposed 5 years. Telling the Royal Gazette, if the victim is so traumatized by what happened to them and they end up taking their lives because of what has happened, then it has to be more more than 5 years. Mrs. Shields Smith was speaking after Kathy Lynn Simmons, the Attorney General, tabled legislation last Friday that would outlaw the use of social media to spread intimate sexual images without a person's consent. The new law, if proposed, will make it a crime to observe, record, or distribute images or video of a person carrying out private or intimate acts and or showing intimate parts of their body without their knowledge or permission. Whether eaten on their own or included as part of myriad creations in the kitchen, the pecan tree yields a versatile nut that is the only naturally occurring major nut tree in North America. While they began in the US, they have since been planted on every continent except Antarctica. How to celebrate Pecan Day? Just a little bit of thought can encourage people to come up with all kinds of creative ways to show their love for pecans, like grabbing a handful to munch on, adding them to salads, making a delightful pecan pie, eating pecan-crusted fish for dinner, or even having pecan ice cream. Turning to weather, the temperature in Bermuda is expected to reach a high of 74 today. Porto, Portugal will see a high of 60, and Nottingham, UK, a high of 56. That's your Daily Hour news break.
All right, thanks for that. I tasted pecans for the first time about 2 weeks ago at a little garlic fest down here.
You never ate butter pecan ice cream in Bermuda, Jamal?
No, growing up, it was rum raisin or cinnamon sherbet.
And butter pecan. Oh.
Folks, if you've eaten butter pecan, please drop a line because I don't want Carla feeling like the awkward one as she does every day. All right. Wow, she's a strange one. It must be I don't know how old our guests are, so I'm not going to throw an age joke at you today.
Denny was in my class at West Pembroke, so you stop.
Yeah, I say it myself. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're back with our guest for the day.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
We're introducing an exciting new line of all-natural cleansing products from Dr. Jacobs Naturals, brought to our shores by Premier Distributors Limited. Dr. Jacobs Naturals is a family business who have directly experienced the special needs of those with extra sensitive skin. Their response? To research and incorporate the methods of Swiss chemist Dr. Jacobs, who perfected the traditional production of Castile soaps, and then dial in the perfect pure organic ingredients and their proportions for a wondrously soothing cleansing experience. Find it at Lindo's Devonshire this month. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Carla Zool. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at Channel 82, where you can also watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications cable. Carla, apparently, you split opinions in the audience regarding pecan, but you have.
I see the majority who like it.
Well, okay, two people on my side. I think 2 people.
Kathy made me laugh.
Kathy, what did Kathy say?
Nasty.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's see if our guests for today have butter pecan ice cream at Whitehorse, because I just don't want to feel like I'm David Chapman of the ice cream butter pecan type man on an island by myself. Welcome to the show, gents. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Bermuda.
I'm going to ask you, before we get into the conversation, is butter pecan ice cream on the menu at Whitehorse?
No, it's not.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what you guys get into, but no, it's not, unfortunately.
Okay.
That was a trick question. Nobody has butter pecan ice cream on the menu. Denny, don't let him take it on the air, okay? Look, remember, our friendship's 40 years.
Why do you have to edge? The man looks like he's dirty. What's wrong with you? Anyway, let's get to the conversation. Lee Richardson and Dennie O'Connor from Whitehorse, thank you both so much. I think your background looks kind of like Carla's. I think it's the same parish.
Yeah, we wanted to step it up, and as I said, we watch Carla, what she does on a daily basis. And when you're in Bermuda, you don't need any type of backdrop. This is Bermuda. So we're excited to do this live. And as I said, me and Lee had talked about this. And as I said, yeah, let's one up from Carla and do a live black backdrop. And I just want to make mention that, yes, I see Coos Point in the back. The boats are being removed this summer. So as I said, they are working on that. So I see some of the sunken boats that are being removed. So that's exciting as well.
So Carla, we're going to have to update your background when the boats get moved. It's going to be a whole different thing. All right.
I've never even seen them boats before.
she don't get out much. But look, talk to us. Look, you're both at Whitehorse. Talk to us about how did you arrive at Whitehorse in the old town? How did this come about?
So I've always had an interest in Whitehorse. I've been running Tobacco Bay for the last 6 years, and it's been exciting. It's been a challenge. It's been all of the above, and I just. For quite a while now, St. George's hasn't been alive. And as I said, watching Tobacco Bay, bringing that about and watching the people come through and enjoying themselves, I've always looked at something down in the square because you had the ferries coming in, you got the people coming through, but they're also like, where can we go after Tobacco Bay? Where can we go after Tobacco Bay? So, it has always, in my mind, it's always been Wahoo's, the Wharf, and Whitehorse on different levels. As I said, I've always been big supporters of Wahoo's, Wharf, and Whitehorse has just been here. So it's just been dormant in my eyes. So I said, I approached the previous owner and said, if he had any interest, and he had absolutely no interest. And I've been asking him every year, probably for the last 5-6 years. And then the opportunity came up last year, and he said, I would like to offer this, and it's not going to go out to the public, but, as I said, I would like to give this opportunity to you because I feel that you'll be able to do the best with Whitehorse. So I want to thank the previous owner because he was the one that actually believed in me. And then we have just taken it from there. We just took off from there. So really excited. Now, as I said, we've been in it for the last 4 months, and we're just moving forward. So,
yeah, it was crazy because and this is the power of social media. You just started seeing people raving about Whitehorse on social media, and I think what's crazy to me about it is restaurants have been so hard hit over the last year due to the pandemic, and it just got me thinking. Well, how did you and your team believe that this would be a great idea and move, especially right now? And it seems to be working.
I mean, once again, as I said, we are blessed. As I said, we did take a risk. We did take a lot of one. We didn't know. We just believed that, there was a void in hospitality service. And I think people just wanted to get out. And we said, let's just do this. As I said, we have a certain following that always has supported us. And, as I said, my biggest belief is, if you build it, they will come, that type of thing. So, we have, what we like is that we have comedians that are passionate, that love to do this type of thing. So we didn't know. As I said, we like every other restaurant, and we're doing well, but we're not where we need to be as of yet. As I said, it's still hard. The restaurant industry is still suffering a lot. But as I said, we have been blessed, and I really would like to thank the public for their continued support in making this happen. So
yeah, that's true. We're seeing an uptick in people coming. We had, birthday parties. Bermudians just want to come and enjoy themselves here at Whitehorse. And what we're trying to do is have young Bermudians here, which is something different from the other restaurants having young Bermudians. And people have said that it's nice to see young Bermudian servers. And so we're just bringing a different mindset to the game.
And it is one of the most commented things that young Bermudians, it's nice to see young Bermudians. And we're really excited that we have local chefs. Me and Lee come from the Fremont days. And as I said, to have local chefs and executive local chefs, and 2 of them. So shout out to Marcy Smith and Damian Simmons, who also have their own following. They're doing amazing things in that kitchen. And as I said, it's just exciting to be part of this, and as I said, to watch this growth. So,
So one thing I've been hearing is about the food, that the food is just the bomb. Speak to us about the menu and what type of items do you offer, and what was the inspiration behind the menu?
What we do is every Friday, we do a special. So you'll get creations from Marcy and Damien. So they do just out of the box stuff. We do lobster tacos. We have done, how can I say? Well, we have on our menu the waffles and chicken on a Sunday, but they just are very creative with the menu. So every week we try to change our menu every Friday. So every Friday our menu changes, but we also have our set menu, which we use every evening and every day.
Yeah, so we have like the lobsticles, which is a creation from Marcy, which are lobsters on a stick, which is quite fun that everybody loves. The surf and turf is really popular as well. The ribeye, avocado rolls, sizzling shrimp, white horse nachos, just a bunch of things. We have the fish tacos, and you know the local turbot, you know, which is also quite popular. So just a bunch of different things. But yes, my chefs are very creative. Maybe a bit too creative sometimes because I need controls on foods and etc. But we do get them the opportunity to express themselves. Yeah, show what they do. Because they are passionate about it. So, and I hope that in a couple of weeks that they do come on and have a chat with you guys as well. As I said, we do want to encourage these guys to grow. And as I said, to have executive local chefs in a kitchen is very rare. Less than 10% on this island is literally running these kitchens around here. So I'm excited to really be part of this.
I love everything about this. And I just got hungry as you was talking about the food. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm like, I can't wait to come in. But for years, I mean, being honest, like a lot of young people didn't go to St. George's if they weren't from St. George's. It was like nothing could get me to come over that bridge. What is it? But yeah, people are flocking. I hear Whitehorse is the place to be. And especially I think on a Sunday, right?
Love it. We are.
So how does the and that's okay. How does the experience of Whitehorse differ from other restaurants, which is pulling people across that bridge?
So right off, if you're coming to have a quiet conversation, it's probably not going to be the Whitehorse. We are all about energy. We are live. I mean, it said everything about us. From DJ Bubbles, who plays the videos of the best of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Reminds me, as I said, and a lot of people express it, it's like the cellar, at the Fairmont Southampton, what I used to own back in the day, before it was closed down. But when you come here, especially on the weekends, it's all about the energy. And I think the difference, as I said, whether it's having the locals on the floor, even as a local owner, we have Lee on the front as the manager, who's just, when I mean attention to detail. I don't know if you know Lee's background, but he was the maitre d' for the conventions at Fairmont Southampton. So he knows every and anybody, and as I said, when it comes to running, he used to run over 100 staff. So imagine coming here, and I'm proud to say that, we have over 25 staff, over 20 upper medium. So as I said, to watch that and to bring it here, I just think it's all about the energy coming forward. So
we had that, and let's just see that energy when you come. You hear the loud music. It just how can I say?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It really is a vibe. So as I said, and people, as I said, if you're coming to have that quiet conversation, it's probably not the place to be. I think you got another 100 and something other restaurants you can go to. But if you're looking to, a lot of, especially, Bermudians, they love to do the whole, they love dancing and stuff. And I say, you can literally do that and do the whole cheer dance and everything and keep within the COVID compliance and things like that. So.
I love how you said cheer dance. That's the only way Jamal dances. He tell you that. It's all exciting.
No, you come on a Sunday, you got Rusty G And as I said, with Rusty, you gotta be up there and doing your thing. But as I said, people are respecting the COVID, but they are literally cheer dancing, and it's just really nice to see, really exciting to know that, as I said, once again, you're part of this. You're part of making people's experience so much better in this whole pandemic, because it hasn't been easy for everyone, and everyone is suffering. And as I said, for them to come out and spend a bit and enjoy themselves, and just, as I said, even the view in the background. I mean, we have seating outside that can accommodate over 70 people, which is quite beautiful. We have one of the largest outdoor terrace in St. George's, for sure. So.
Now, I want to go back real quick, because you mentioned that of your 25 staff, 20 are Bermudian. And yet there are so many Bermudians who turn their back on the hospitality industry, but yet you have so many visitors who say, we want to see local faces. Why was it important for you to employ so many Bermudians?
I think for me, Carla, it's really just trying to. We always talk about back in the day how Bermuda used to be, and etc. in the hospitality area. For me, it's really just supporting and getting these guys out there. I mean, as I said, right now we have an opportunity where we can actually get people that want to work, that need to work, versus before the pandemic, people really weren't coming into the hospitality. But as I said, now we can handpick some of the best. And yes, we are taking advantage of Fremont closing. You're talking about 6 restaurants that are now closed that, we want to step up and say, hey guys, we've got the next 2 years to get our stuff together and get this right, so that we can now compete with these bigger boys. Because technically we can't compete with these bigger restaurants in these big hotels, because everybody wants to flock there. So as I said, right now we have 2 years to build a following that's going to keep Whitehorse going. And this is what we're going to do. But when it comes to, Lee, you want to answer the question when it comes to? When it comes to basically Bermudians, we want to just have Bermudians in here, basically.
And that's what you look. You want to see young Bermudians back in the hospitality. Like when I started in hotel school in '81, where that was the basics. And once they came, and even some of my colleagues from school, I see them come here and they're like, we like how you got these young Bermudians coming back. So you have Bermudians interested back in the industry. We don't have the hotel school. So this is like next to being at the hotel school, because we're training young people how to serve.
Now, you talked about you have 2 years to prepare. How do you intend to build on the early popularity and success of Whitehorse? How do you plan to get there over these next 2 years?
I mean, it's just one day at a time. I mean, right now we have St. Regis coming on board, opening up May 20th. Shout out to them, because this is what St. George's needed. That type of confidence of somebody investing that much. We have the marina coming on board. We have other restaurants. We're even talking about, Mariko from 4 Star coming down this way, and even hearing rumors of MEF coming to St. George's. I mean, these are just big opportunities. So I think just over time, I mean, we're just going to do one day at a time and just take it from there.
We have quite a few people with questions and comments. Key Kane says, great job, guys. The buzz in St. George's has been great. Go to some other questions, but just want to touch on what you just said. St. Regis is going to be opening very soon. And obviously you want to be where, the action is happening. St. George's has been, yes, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, seen as, great tours with the forts. Kristen White is down there doing some awesome stuff with her tours. It's always been one of my favorite towns. But what do you think the immediate future looks like? And I'm talking about post-pandemic. Everything's going to be great. We're going to get back healthy. Travelers going to come. Do you think St. George's has the potential to be the it place that Bermuda's been looking for? Before it used to be everything happening on Front Street. But do you think the opportunity is there?
By far, I think that we are going to surpass, as I said, Hamilton. As I said, with Dockyard, they're doing their thing. Shout out to them. But St. George's is definitely coming back on the map, and we're really excited. And people see this. And as I said, people are now investing more into St. George's. So we are definitely excited. And I just smile because I know Whitehorse and Tobacco Bay will be popping for sure.
Yes.
We've always just created that type of energy, that type of vibe that people just want to enjoy themselves. And as I said, they come down and they just really have so much fun. And so many people that come to St. George's always say, oh my gosh, I haven't been here for a while, but I'm going to be back. And that's always been the most positive thing. So 100%, 1000%, St. George's will be the place to be for sure. And as I said, with Corporation of St. George's, St. Regis, the marina coming on board, everybody's just doing their due diligence to make this happen. They're doing their job to say, hey, we're going to make this place alive again. And this is what's happening. As I said, to watch, St. George's, especially on a Sunday, like, they haven't given parking tickets in 5 years. And as I said, now they're just, unfortunately, they're giving parking tickets. Just, but, for them to say, hey, we haven't even given parking tickets in 5 years. And now that you guys are around, we're enjoying this, that type of thing, but it just makes me laugh and smile and appreciate, that you're doing something right. You're out there and you're making a difference. And as I said, I've got an amazing team that just is on the same page. As I said, everybody wants to just, as I said, move forward. And yes, unfortunately, this pandemic has been really hard, but it also has given us opportunity to open our eyes and appreciate, what we didn't have or what we took for granted, And, I did lose my father-in-law in COVID. So, as I said, there's no positive thing about that. But as I said, there's a certain understanding now that, what you got to make the most of what you have right now. And let's just all try to move forward.
Yeah, so, condolences to your family, by the way. I want to go back to you saying, like, I guess people are parking just anywhere and parking for long, so they're getting tickets. I don't know if Bermuda has this, but that should be a tax write-off because you are contributing to the economy when people are, paying their fines and coming over to your restaurant. That's your contribution. So ease the man up on taxes. But we do have a question about the menu. Do you have vegan options? Now, I think this is an interesting question because it seems like every restaurant is now having gluten-free or vegan options and so on. Is this something that you guys have on the offer down there?
Yeah, so we definitely have vegan options, limited at this moment, but we definitely have it. And our chefs are very experienced to understand, the importance of, the making sure that people don't cross-contaminate or anything like that. So yeah, no, we're definitely we definitely do have vegan options.
Okay. Charles H. Jeffers too says, do they believe it's time to introduce a hotel school?
Oh, yes. The hotel school needs to come back. And that's where it all started. You get your basic training, but you can branch out. But yeah, the hotel school needs to come back. That's a positive because these young Bermudians need to have that formal training. It's not just coming in and hi, hello, but they need to know wines. They need to know stuff like that. Right now, into vegan and stuff, they need to know these things now.
Yeah, so we're finding that it has been a challenge. I'm a big believer in hotel school, coming from the Stonington back in the day, etc. Doing the hotel school, etc. It has to happen, and I think Bermuda is aware that it is needed, and I think there are things in the works that hopefully we'll hear soon that we will have something similar to that. So I'm excited. But it has to happen. There's no way. As I said, hospitality is our background. Our biggest product is our people. Mm-hmm. And if I said we don't invest in our people, then we will eventually fail. So I'm a big supporter of that. It will happen. I'm telling you now, it has to happen. So yes, hotel school is a must.
So both of you gentlemen are hospitality veterans, right? And through the years, you've seen slumps and all of that. What made you steadfast in staying in the industry? Because you could have very easily, like others, gone and got new training, perhaps, and going into another industry. What has kept you so committed to this industry in Bermuda?
This industry has always been my life. Just meeting new people, being at Fairmont, it was always every day was something new, and you was creative. Here, being in what I'm doing now is a new, how can I say, is a new way of doing it. But we're also doing, well, how can I say, I am still loving it. I've worked in a Japanese restaurant when sushi first came about. So my mind was always learn what is new. This concept that we have here now is a new concept with the music and just party. So this is the new concept is coming. So I've always been looking at the industry, what is happening next. So when we have the soca music playing and stuff, that is the new vibe. So we're bringing something new, not that formal sitting down. When you come here, you see a energy place. So that's what is new here in the industry. And that's why I've always, I will stay to the wicked since I've been 17. I love what I'm doing.
And I think it's the encouragement of the people. Once again, hospitality is hard. As I said, if you're in it for the money, that wasn't the way to go. And we always lost so many people because it said they wanted to follow that money trail, versus, for me, I had to go through a whole X amount of years, as I said, before you start to hit that certain level. And many people, it's a sacrifice, as I said. So you either have a passion for it or you don't. But as I said, for me, just hanging in there, watching, and as I said, I've had so many hard days, and as I said, it's not been easy, as I said. So I look at Lee, and I'm excited to have Lee on board because, as I said, I just know his attention to detail and everything like that, his involvement and understanding. He gets it, as I said, not every one of us will get it. So, just understand that with hospitality, it's just hard to advance. But if you advance, eventually you get there, you will make it. And as I said, I think we're on that level right now. So.
I love it. I just love the fact that Bermudians are getting more options. And I think from trusted people and industry veterans like yourselves. Dennie, you have your hands in particular in many different things. Wanted to keep it to Whitehorse, but someone from the audience did have a question. It was Mr. Sean Smith says, Dennie, just a sidestep. How is your project coming along? I believe he means at the airport. Is it open?
Okay, so yeah, and just to be clear, I am the owner of the 3 restaurants at the new airport. I am the owner of Snorkel Park and Tobacco Bay. I just want to make it clear that I am not the owner of Horseshoe Bay or Clearwater. So I just want to
clarity is important on this show, but go ahead.
People are like, oh, you are this, and now these are the things that I have. So I just wanted to make it very clear. The airport has been a real challenge right now. And as I said, it's been a huge investment that we did. And as I said, we haven't seen any returns on it. But as I said, we are still hopeful. But it's an amazing product and a very proud product that we've created. And as I said, I hope any Bermudian that walks through that airport now feels really good to see the restaurants that Bermuda now has, in standing. As I said, we're looking for the Whistling Rum Bar. We are looking to do live entertainment out on that beautiful deck that you see that you drive across on the north side, and some really fun functions. But we have to get past this pandemic. Mm-hmm. But it has been a challenge, and as I said, we just keep our head high. I'm very blessed to have Whitehorse, as I said, to see that there is opportunity, that this too shall pass. So as I said, I'm just grateful.
Mm. Well, thank you, honestly, both of you, Lee and Dennie, not just for coming on this show, but for what you do. And I don't think it's understood and appreciated enough. And what I mean by that is, you're not just in business providing food, but you're providing jobs for people. And right now, a pandemic-led recession, there are people that are really looking for opportunities. And I think you said, Lee, you were at Fairmont Southampton. The hotels have closed, and you've created new opportunities during this time. So I think what you're doing is so inspirational, not just for people who like hospitality, but people who may have ideas and think, well, right now is a bad time. You've taken a risk in a time that pretty much other restaurants around the world are literally dying and going away. So this right here is entrepreneurship 101, what you're doing. And we wish you nothing but success. We want to have the chefs on probably within the next 2 weeks. Really would love to have a discussion with them, because I think it's Damien, the one we've discussed on this show quite a bit. He was previously at one of the hotels, right? That's okay.
Cookery.
Yes, we'd love to have both of them on. So let's get it going. We love to support these kinds of things. Just let us know before you go. What is the hours? When can people come by? And someone asked earlier, are there daily specials? Yeah. Do you have a
so as Lee had mentioned, there is weekly specials. So every week there is a menu that comes out. So we are definitely into, as I said, these chefs. We are letting them do what they love to do right now. As I said, they are very just passionate about just trying different, and they have all these great ideas. So as I said, we're letting them free, as I said. So come down, enjoy these specials. Good Friday's coming up. I just want to do a shout out to my father, who will be making kites here at the White Horse tonight. My dad is the kite master for Bermuda, so very proud of that. But yeah, no, we've got things going yet. So
yeah, and then on Tuesdays we have the 20% for 55 and up. That's lunch and dinner. So come down on a Tuesday. We just have great things. We have the breakfast going on Sundays from 10 o'clock to 1:30 is our last reservation. So at 2 o'clock we switch over the menu. So that's what we're trying to do. We had to look at it at one point where we had people come in, and then at 2 o'clock they still weren't getting to the other menu. So we had to adjust things, which that's what we're done now. We're now serving up until 1:30. That's the last reservation on a Sunday. And then at 2 o'clock we switch over to the night or the daily menu. So that has helped us out.
And as Lee mentions, as I said, I thank the Bermuda for being patient with us, because as I said, we have not been perfect. As I said, there's been times there, the meals can be taken a bit too long, etc. But we are getting better at this. We are understanding, our teeth and pains. We're working through it, and as I said, we are just moving forward. But the one thing, as I said, we are blessed with that. We are open 7 days a week. We are open from 10 o'clock to 11. Well, 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock, but the curfew keeps depending on the curfew times, etc. But yeah, we're open. We're open every day. And as I said, a day like this, to come down even here for lunch, it's just absolutely beautiful. People just really enjoy just sitting outside on the terrace, looking overseeing St. George's Harbor. So.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Dennie O'Connor, Lee Richardson, White Horse. We look forward to having the chefs on in a couple of weeks. All the best.
I appreciate you guys. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
All righty. That was awesome. I'm looking forward to tasting. Well, I'm looking forward to Carla taking me and treating me to a lunch.
A cheeseless pizza? I was this close to asking him, do you have cheeseless pizza on the menu?
We're going to take a break and we're going to come back. And the question of the day, folks, for Carla in the Daily Play is easy. If she don't get this, it's on her. Give us a like, smash a like, give us an emotion. If you love today's episode, let us know, show us some love, engage, share, let us know on the other side. But stick with us. The Daily Play is up next. Don't miss it. At Bermuda Communications Group Limited, we love to help businesses and organizations of all sizes across various industries. Find out how we've been working with our clients to improve their customer experience and increase their revenue. Send us an email to contact@bermudacommunications.com to see how we can assist you next. All right, welcome back to the Big Show. I'm not worrying about Carla, folks. She could talk about Machila's pizza all she wants. It's all good. It tastes wow. All right. Daily play, one of the easiest questions Carla's going to get. She says that I'm, underestimating her intelligence or insulting her intelligence as of late. But here you go. Help her out, folks. It's the easiest question, easier than yesterday. Which the answer was, that's what friends are for. I said,
if it's easier, what is it? The alphabet?
Nope. It's name that place. Okay, here we go. What is the highest point in Bermuda?
Oh, Gibbs Hill Lighthouse?
My goodness.
It's not?
Tell Carla what the highest point in Bermuda
is. In Bermuda? One of the golf courses, then.
Wow.
I have no idea. Oh. I know that. It is really Tawny Hill? No, it's not Tawny Hill. Gibbs Hill Lighthouse is not higher than... Right? Oh, okay. Tawny Hill. And to think I spent a whole summer there in 2017 with my auntie.
I think all of Bermuda knew it. I mean, Carla.
I didn't. Oops. It's not higher than the what's it? I'm saying the airport. What's that thing called again? The lighthouse? Embarrassed. See, I thought Billy Goat Hill too, Pastor. That was to be the jam to see if your bike could make the girls scan over the hill when we were younger. But is it Tawny Hill?
It's Tawny Hill.
Oh, learn something new every day.
All right, so here you go, folks. Today's daily. They name that place. The highest point of Bermuda, Tawny Hill, is about 76 meters or 249 feet above sea level, and is located in Flats Village area of Smiths Parish.
Oops.
Forgive her, for she does not know, folks. Forgive her.
Listen, I never spend time in those areas ever.
I don't spend time in.
I did.
Places.
Excuse me. I really didn't know that.
Carla,
yes.
Do you have any inspiration for us that might help you as well?
Work like there is someone working 24 hours a day to take it from you. Mark Cuban.
Yeah. Name that place, she said. Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was Gibbs Hill Lighthouse. How would I know? Yeah. Listen, Yolanda, they taught that in school, not at work academy. No, they probably did. I was too busy being a rebel.
You know what? Thankfully, we had a great episode today. That all will be forgotten. Thanks again to Dennie and Lee Richardson. Really want to get there and support them. If you all audience, make sure if you haven't, you go check it out. As he stated, they may not be perfect, but with our help and our patience, they can definitely be everything that we as Bermudians want. Bermudian earn, Bermudian run. It doesn't get any better. And one of the things when I worked in tourism and I would bring people to Bermuda, one of my challenges, I always wanted to support, certain restaurants, and there just was not enough. And I started tourism right after Dennie had no longer had the cellar up Southampton. So let's support our people. Let's get there. And I'm not encouraging you to get parking tickets, by the way. Let's call
on
up
a Sunday, though. They have tickets on a Sunday? That's weird.
We don't know what day it was.
He said Sunday. He did say Sunday, but maybe he
Sunday. That's when they are giving tickets.
That's what I got out of it, because he said on a Sunday, but maybe he mixed two sentences. But
yeah, the same person that thought Gibbs Hill Lighthouse was
they did not teach that at Work Academy. Thank you.
Hey, folks.
Thank
you. We got some people sticking up for Carla. I mean, I didn't learn it. In fairness, I didn't learn it in Bermuda's public school system either. So, Work Academy was public.
Work Academy was public when I went.
All right. Cool. All right. Any final thoughts on today's episode, Carla?
I cannot wait till when we are both on the island and we are going to Whitehorse, Jamal. My treat.
Can I get more than an appetizer and water?
Yep, you can.
All right.
My treat.
We're on, Annie. All righty. We're on.
We got a lot to do. We got talents cars as well. So we're going to do the cars. We're going to drive to Whitehorse and have lunch.
Does not drive me. Anyway, thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you every single weekday. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Carla Zool. I'm Jamal Hartman. Oh, tomorrow we have Rusty G. Yeah, Rusty G, the same DJ that was mentioned just now that's got people flocking to Whitehorse. Don't want to miss that one. Make it a great day.